Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Chanda wishes to find out what measures are being taken to ensure that the agriculture sector benefits from the linkages between the country's educational system and industry. And B, what measures are being taken to reduce the country's dependence on maize. Our answer, Madam Speaker, is as follows. The Minister of Agriculture runs agriculture training institutes that provide training at certificate and diploma levels in agriculture. These qualified graduates from these institutions are absorbed by the industry. In addition, Madam Speaker, the Natural Resource Development College trains agriculture science teachers who are recruited by the Minister of Education to teach agriculture science in schools. Further, the Minister of Agriculture is aware that schools run production units and our extension staff in various parts of the country provide extension services to schools. B, Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture is promoting crop diversification as a way of reducing dependence on maize. The ministry is promoting irrigation so that various crops apart from maize can be grown to increase the affordability and accessibility of diverse and nutritious food. Developing farm blocks to make land available for production of a wide range of agricultural products is another measure that the ministry is promoting. Madam Speaker, the ministry is also carrying out research on crops, vegetables, and fruits suited to Zambia's agronomic conditions. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions, Honorable Member for Kanchibiya.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Minister has addressed himself principally to training, and what is being done in these colleges, the syllabus, etc. But I think the gist of my question, Madam Speaker, is informed by the linkages. You have academia, you have the industry, then you have the agriculture sector, and the extent to which the interface, the interlinkages are playing into the agriculture sector with regard to research and development. This is something that is very clear when we look at the Maputo Declaration, the Malabo Declaration, the Amkem-Karo Declaration, the African Union Agenda 2063. So my question, Honorable Speaker, would be to what extent and how much is your ministry, Honorable Minister, spending annually on agricultural research and development, and which institutions, which universities have you brought on board? Thank you so much.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Indeed, the question, Madam Speaker, is what are we doing to ensure that the benefits from the linkages between the country's educational system and industry? What this question really means, Madam Speaker, is let's take NRDC. NRDC should look at what the industry wants, and it should train people according to what the industry requires. They do that. I'll give an example. Right now, NRDC is working, for example, with Saro Agricultural Industry. Saro Agricultural Industry has been given a piece of land at the institute, and the students are now learning practically to drive tractors, practically to use equipment for which are attached to the tractors, practically getting into the industrial requirements, for example, as Saro might require. Therefore, the linkage between the industry and our institution is definitely being registered and carried out. The issue of research and how much money goes into research, Madam Speaker, is surely not what was asked here. I thank you.
Thank you. The Leader of Opposition.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister. With the indulgence of the Honorable Speaker, the education sector, the agricultural sector, the industry, these three are interlinked. They are not in competition, they are there to complement each other. And the gist of the question was to understand what government is doing in interfacing the agricultural sector and the industry. In asking my second supplementary question, Madam Speaker, the country knows that with the advent of climate change, we ought to be going beyond maize. We have cassava, sorghum, millet, rice, sweet potatoes, etc. But for so many years, we've been treated to the mono-diet culture dependent on maize. Honorable Minister, are there plans by your ministry to convene a high-level dialogue involving smallholders, consumers, market actors, academia, civil society, to drive a sea of change in Zambia's agricultural and dietary diversity? If so, when? If not, why? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A lovely question, actually. Madam Speaker, number one, you will notice that other than bringing people together dialogue, there are practical measures which I think the successive governments have actually implemented. Let's take FISIP. I like talking about practical things. Let's talk about FISIP. Madam Speaker, FISIP has what is called a supplementary pack. This is a pack over and above the ordinary maize and maize fertilizers. We give what exactly the Honorable Member for Kanchibiya mentioned. We give sunflower, we give soybeans, we give groundnuts, and we give sorghum. This in itself means that the 1 million farmers that we are dealing with in FISIP are technically being encouraged to get out of maize per se and start getting into other crops which actually are more commercially viable and start changing the monoculture which the Honorable Member mentioned. Beyond that, Madam Speaker, almost all our meetings with cooperating partners, this is being emphasized. The support we are getting from outside is no longer targeted for maize. It is purely targeted for other crops, including rice, which we want to get into very, very seriously in the water, like in Bangweulu and most of the areas that we have in the northern and Wapula provinces. So yes, Madam Speaker, there is a very serious, deliberate strategy to move out of maize and provide for other crops. I thank you for that lovely question. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for